Hello everyone, welcome to Digital Marketing Gyan, your favorite podcast destination for informative tools, techniques, case studies, and latest updates in digital marketing domain. I'm your host Prince Kumar, and we have Adrian Tobey with us. Adrian is the CEO and founder of Groundhog Inc. Incorporated in 2018. Heralded for its innovation, Groundhog won the Gold Steve Award for Tech Startup of the Year in the software category 2020. Currently, Groundhog serves over 1,200 users worldwide, representing over 30 countries. Today, Adrian will be sharing valuable insights on how to design, deploy, and optimize your marketing funnel in only 5 steps. Hi, Adrian, welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to be here.
So, Adrian, can you just help us a bit about your corporate journey, about how you founded, the Groundhog, and before, what all things that you started after your college?
Yeah, absolutely. Hi everyone. My name's Adrian. I founded Groundhog back in 2018 after a stint working for several years in a digital marketing agency. Now, I'm sure lots of people listening are familiar with offering digital marketing services. So that is something that I'm quite familiar with. So back when I was in university, which was 2015, I want to say, I was doing comp sci. That was my university journey, computer science degree, bachelor's. And while I was doing that, I was doing it part-time, and the other half of my time was spent working in the family business, which was a digital marketing agency. Primarily, I would be the guy to do all the coding, the website, the development. That's kind of where my skill set was. And I would also work a lot with the CRM, marketing automation component. So part of like the value proposition of our agency was we were like the full stack agency people. You send us your business, we'll send you back a new one kind of thing. So full website redesign, all the marketing automation setup, funnel, or the CRM components set up, integrated with the e-commerce store, whatever it is that you were selling. And we worked in the range of projects that were 30 to 75,000 typically. And I did that for quite some time. And during that time, I learned a lot about development. I learned a lot about WordPress plugin development. And that's kind of the niche that we're in today. And over that period of time, I identified a number of problems that existed for agencies to work with the legacy sort of CRM providers, Salesforce, HubSpot, Infusionsoft, now Keep at the time, ActiveCampaign. There were just a number of roadblocks for agencies to be able to quickly and effectively deliver on that sort of like full stack promise. Because, for example, every single time that we onboarded a new client, we have like most of the WordPress stuff as just like a copy and paste from the previous clients. Like, I've over time you build up a repertoire, a catalog of efficient website templates and designs, and it's like then it comes kind of like ad libs where insert value proposition, insert logo, insert contact us information, and Bob's your uncle, you got a website. But that didn't really translate to the CRM side. Like every time we wanted to set that up, we'd have to start from scratch every single time because the export, import, duplication process doesn't exist for those platforms. And if they do exist, it's incredibly convoluted. And then you also, there's the problem of actually getting the client to pay for it, right? Because, they have to get them to send it to go sign up for an account. And then typically, like, if you're going to sign up for like something like Active Campaign or Keep, they go sign up and then they get sold by them, like the onboarding process. And I was like, but I just hired an agency to do that. And it's just an incredibly frustrating and confusing customer experience that we had to deal with every single time. And so, looking back on that, after doing that for 3-4 years, I decided that I didn't really want to spend the rest of my life working in that kind of like, if anyone's ever seen the movie Groundhog Day with Bill Murray, where the guy wakes up and it repeats the same day over and over and over again. I didn't want to do that in sort of like this agency life. And that's also where we get the name Groundhog for the company. Because we wanted to sort of like just break that cycle of just like these recurring issues that agencies faced by providing a tool that can allow an agency to easily replicate, duplicate, export, import all of their information and sort of just put them in full control over their information so that they can deliver client projects just faster. And we've been doing that since 2018. The product has come a long way since then, and we're working with a lot of agencies in order to accomplish that goal.
So one thing that from your thoughts that I was able to make it out, that you identified a problem. The problem was integrating multiple plugins, or integrating multiple tools for each and every client, and therefore so you founded a plugin, and this plugin is one go for all of their concerns.
Pretty much. And if we were unable to sort of just like replicate the functionality, and like sometimes you need to integrate stuff, like it's impossible. Well, maybe not impossible, but it'd be incredibly difficult to provide like a full, complete one-stop shop that was like incredibly sophisticated and can handle every single use case out there. Like that's not possible. So sometimes you need to integrate stuff. And if we couldn't build it ourselves, we need it brain dead easy to integrate, like with the top other plugin providers, like WooCommerce and the multitude of form builders out there. And that was, part of the problem. Like, a customer would come to us, let's say, oh, but we already have like Gravity Forms or something, and we don't want to switch. And it's like, all right, well, now we need to figure out a way to like integrate Gravity Forms with whatever CRM they're using. And tools exist to make that happen. But guess what? That's another like $400 to $600 a year for that one integration. And they're like, well, I don't want to spend that. And it's like, well, how are we supposed to work under these conditions? And so every single time that they want this like specific thing to exist, it was just the costs kept racking up. So the way that we approached integrations is that, at least for most of like the mainstream ones, your WooCommerce, your Gravity Forms, your Easy Digital Downloads, WP Forms, Help Scout, Give WP, and sort of like the top Elementor, your top providers for the WordPress ecosystem, we would just make the integrations ourselves in-house, so that when someone showed up, it was a straightforward and easy process for them to just plug Groundhog into their stack. They wouldn't need to go and source out third-party integrations for whatever, right? It was just, we would take on the responsibility of making that happen, because that's just a much more frictionless customer experience.
Is your tool more beneficial for B2C businesses or B2B?
Well, our business is B2B. Like we sell our product to other businesses. I don't think like a regular consumer would get a lot of value out of a CRM plugin. But in terms of their customers, so our customers, we sell our primary target audience is agencies. We love working with agencies. They know what to do, and they generally get really good results on behalf of their customers and their customers' customers, and it's kind of like this just big trickle down effect. But we sell to, I don't want to say, we sell or service a number of niches very well. So we service the agency niche very well. We service the e-commerce niche very well. We have lots of very specialized tooling for WooCommerce sites. We service the nonprofit sector very well. So if you're like doing donations and you need some sort of like donor management system, we work a lot with nonprofits. We have specialized like discounts and stuff for nonprofits as well. We service consultants very well. We service call center sales agencies, sales desks very well with our sales pipeline tooling. So there are a number of segments that we service really well. We do a lot of work in the LMS industry as well. So if you're doing education, courses, schools, universities, membership sites, people running pay-per-view content, those are industries that we service very well.
What all features that you have that are available in this groundhog that are beneficial for website owners? So if you can just mention few of the prominent features.
Sure. I feel like it might be more beneficial to sort of narrow down maybe a couple of use cases rather than features. Use cases I find are and use cases can encompass like specific features. So let's say you're working with or you're an agency. Your client is an education system. They have an LMS. They're using something like maybe Lifter LMS or LearnDash or some abortive system. We have an integration with both of those platforms. So your client says, hey, listen, I want to send an email to anybody who's in this specific course and registered in between the last 3 months, right? How do you get that information? Where do you get that information from? And second, how do you leverage that information? So if you're using something like maybe ActiveCampaign or with like a tool maybe like WP Fusion, what you'd have to do is you have to preemptively have created all of various different tags for people registering in that time zone, and then have a tag to relate back to when they signed up. And this is something that you would have had to have thought out 3 months ago in order to actually be able to then log into ActiveCampaign, segment those people. Or you'd have to go into the LearnDash or Lifter LMS reports. You'd have to do the time search, and then you'd have to export that list of students, then import them into ActiveCampaign. And it's just not a very simple process, right? You either have to like thought out or do a whole bunch of manual work in order to get that done. What I said earlier that we spent a lot of time just working on the integrations of the tools that we want to work with in-house to offer that frictionless customer experience. So what you as the agency would be able to then do for your client is open up our contacts list, and we have search filters that are added depending on what integrations that you use. So you'd be able to then look up your list of customers right from the CRM based on they're currently enrolled in this course, and their enrolled was in between like the last 90 days. And that way you've now cut down anywhere from half an hour to an hour's worth of time finding these people to 30 seconds, and then immediately being able to go into the email copy and then scheduling that email out. Right? Yeah. So that's one of the ways that we really wanted to improve the efficiency, is the ability to not only find the data that's related to the other systems and tools that you're using. Another great example would be e-commerce people. I want to find everybody that bought this product in the last 30 days. How do you do that in WooCommerce? WooCommerce doesn't have a customer management component, and it blows my mind that they haven't built one in like the 13 years or however long they've been around. There's still no just like customer list. You can only view a customer record by going to the orders list. Just mind blown. I don't know. But what you can do in Groundhog is, again, just open up the search filters, and right within the CRM in your WordPress site, this is not a third-party app. It's all part of WordPress. Just be like, people who bought this product in the last 30 days. Send those people an email, letting them know that we have more in stock. And again, you've cut down exporting all your orders, copying like the email column from the CSV file that gets exported, then re-importing it into whatever CRM that you're using, and then tagging them based on that. It's just a total waste of time. And it blows my mind to this day that tools that the CRM companies, like the legacy ones that exist, don't have tooling for the most powerful and popular e-commerce solution that exists on the internet. Blows my mind. I digress though. And that is how, like, at least we're approaching the ability to find data in third-party platforms, and not only like make it findable, but makes it actionable. That's the big part. So immediately after like you search those people, you get options. Like, I want to add these people to an automation. I want to send these people an email. Like, I want to export these people. Like, what do you want to do with them? We make that data actionable immediately. Another great use case is, let's say you're working with, let's continue with the LMS people, the education people, because that's a huge business these days because of lockdowns and restrictions, and people don't want to go out to learn stuff anymore. They want to sit in their office. They want to learn from the screen, and that's fine. And there's lots of tools now that exist to enable that. One of them, a couple of them being like LearnDash, Lifter LMS, the two big players in the LMS space in WordPress at the moment. And let's say that you get 100 people to sign up for your course, which is a great start, by the way. So you get 100 people in your course, and you're noticing that, you know, most of them, 90% of them drop off after like the first 3 lessons. Like, say you have like 10 lessons. So 90% of people only make it 30% of the way through the course, right? That's not a great education or student experience. Like, they didn't learn, or they didn't accomplish learning, or they didn't find that the information was valuable, or that something went wrong in their experience. And when that happens, that can lead to, if you're doing like a subscription, that will lead to cancellations, refund requests, and just a general loss of potential revenue. And you don't want that. You know, you want people to make it through the end so that they have a good experience, so that they learn something, so that they keep paying, so that they don't request a refund, so that they leave a review, so that they recommend your stuff to other people, right? So we have a vested interest in getting someone from the start of a course to the end of course. How do we do that? There's lots of reasons why people may abandon. Number one, it's not what they thought it was. They didn't realize how much of their own time they'd have to invest in order to achieve some results. And those can be solved with copywriting and target market and working on the value proposition. But some other things are totally within your control, as far as sort of like automation on the back end and customer nurture on the back end, to get this person past the finish line. For example, their mom called is a really popular one. It's like they got distracted. You know, we get inundated on our phones with notifications, with phone calls, with text messages. Oh, I just got one for like a new YouTube video for a channel that I subscribe to. Like, people get distracted. They had to go to work. They, you know, their dog ate chocolate. Like, there's so many reasons why someone might hit the pause button and go do something else. And when they come back, their mind isn't even remotely focused on what they were doing. They close the window and then they forget. It happens. We are so overstimulated with so much content that if your business is content, you have to actively engage with this person in order to get them to consume it.
Definitely.
So what if I told you could, if someone hadn't completed a lesson in a couple days, we could just send them an email. Be like, hey, it looks like you started this course, but you haven't, completed a lesson in a few days. We just want to make sure that you're learning and that you're getting a good experience. Click here to immediately be logged back into the platform and to continue from where you left off. Right? And that way they're like, oh yeah, I will do that. Click, go, consume, finish the course. Right? And if it becomes a repeating pattern, well, that might be indicative of something wrong with the way that you laid out the content, or there needs to be some sort of other engagement factor that you hadn't considered. So that way we can say, hey, listen, it looks like you're not getting your way through the course. Is there something that we missed? Provide feedback. And then that gives you the opportunity to collect feedback from these people that are taking your course that aren't finishing it, so that you can improve your content, right? And we can do that really easily with the integrations and the funnels and automations that a tool like ours provides. And we've seen that people who've implemented that kind of system, and we call it course abandonment, as like the funnel template. Like you can just download it from our template library, called course abandonment. And it starts off with, someone enrolls in the course, and then we have a trigger or benchmark which gets notified when someone completes a lesson. And if they don't complete that lesson in 2 days, it just sends them a reminder email, sends them another reminder email. And it just basically just keeps sending them a reminder email until they finish it. And we've seen that improve course completion rates up to 40%. Just with that one, just by installing it, then doing absolutely nothing else, not modifying the copy, not modifying the value proposition, the content, nothing. Like just by installing it, you can see up to a 40% overall improvement in course completion rates. Just because, like, we as a content creator, we are content consumers, and there's a lot of content. Like, we got Netflix, Disney Plus, we got Crave, we got Hulu, we got YouTube, we got other courses that we've signed up for that already have this, that are reminding us to go take that. Not only are you competing with these legacy providers, you're also competing with other content creators and course creators. So you need to have this reminder system in place, or else they're not going to finish.
Definitely. So you have perfectly highlighted about having an automation. Can you just make it a bit more clear to the audience? What is the importance of marketing automation for businesses, especially in this competitive world? So if you can help us with that, or help the business owners understand why it is a must for their business.
It's the difference between like doing everything manually and having not to do it at all. Marketing automation is a tool that allows us to set up systems like the one that I just described for LMS and for e-commerce, right? Marketing automation is when you go to Amazon and you put something in your cart, and then the next day when you don't check out, they send you an email. It's like, hey, this is still in your cart. Do you want to finish the checkout process? Right? Someone didn't send that email manually, right? That was an automated thing that happened. Like Amazon doesn't have, well, maybe they did at one point, but certainly now they don't have this like a warehouse full of people with computers like manually typing up these emails, keeping an eye on what carts, what items you have specifically in your cart. And marketing automation makes those kinds of systems, especially small business marketing automation, makes those kinds of use cases and systems accessible to sort of the non-Amazons e-commerce sites of the world, like people who operate on a little bit of a maybe smaller and local level. And once you have sort of like some core systems in place, like following up with automatically with people who fill out the contact us form, right? Like if someone is filling out a contact us form or a quote form on your agency's website, right? It's like, get a quote. Great. What happens when they fill out get a quote? Is it on you to manually like follow up with that person, or do they get added to a customer onboarding sequence, which then indoctrinates and educates them with a series of, videos or maybe blog posts or whatever it is, whatever content that you have, and then ask them automatically to then book a call with you once they've been pre-qualified by some kind of form or whatever, right? It's like, is that on you to do that, and you're already swamped working on projects that you might have signed up previously, or do you have to take time from working on those projects to then do all of those steps manually, right? Marketing automation allows businesses to set up these sort of basic and replicatable processes and enables you to, as the business owner working in and on the business, to focus on things that might be a little bit more important, a little bit more time consuming, and focus on growing the business.
Definitely. This is, the important thing that you highlighted, that automation focuses and it helps the businesses to focus more on their business and to get their recurring things done through this process. So they don't have to get involved into these minute things where they have to send a welcome mail to their, to end user who have subscribed them, or sending a kind of reminder. These all things that will be done automatically, so they can just focus on their business, on branding, or all the important parts, and these all things can be taken care through the automation software or through the automation systems that are in the market.
Yeah, marketing automation is a tool which amplifies. So what I mean by that is if you're doing well, you have more business that you can deal with. You're getting great reviews, whatever, but you're doing everything manually. Okay, and because you're doing everything manually, you don't have the time to take on more business. You don't have the resources to maybe hire staff that allows you to do less, or that would allow you to do more, rather. And generally, you're just you're killing it, but you're struggling under the weight of having to do all of this work. Marketing automation is a tool which amplifies, and it's once you set it up, it allows you. It takes away some of the burdens that you might be shouldering on your own doing manually at the moment. It's going to amplify the amount of business that you're able to take on, the amount of business that you're able to do and deliver on. It's going to, and once that happens, you're going to have more resources, which are allowing you to reinvest in the organization, and either in staff or in software or whatever it is that you want to invest it on. And it's just generally going to amplify your business. And the reason I use the word amplify is because marketing automation also isn't a silver bullet. It's not a quick fix. If you don't have any business, installing marketing automation isn't going to make business appear. So if there's nothing, it's going to amplifying nothing is still nothing. So I don't want to sit here and be like marketing automation is like the quick fix and the silver bullet, and once you install it, it's going to revolutionize your business. If there's no business to begin with and sales are hard and you're not getting good results, then adding marketing automation is only going to amplify not good results, right? So that's something that I think is also important to understand. Now, when you sign up generally for services like ours, we're not only invested in training marketing automation and how to use the tool, but my organization specifically is highly invested in just general education about how to run a business and how to do it well and how to satisfy customers and how to provide an excellent customer experience. And I think that goes hand in hand because, again, just having marketing automation doesn't really solve anything. We educate our clients on general good business practice, because when you pair that with marketing automation, again, it amplifies and allows them to do exceedingly well.
Definitely. So, coming to the topic that we have, so can you help us understand that how one can design, deploy, and optimize the marketing funnel in just 5 steps?
So again, there is this comes with a caveat, right? Like the deploying and optimizing your marketing funnel is going to work great in the event that you're already doing everything manually and you're suffering from the struggle of having to do it all manually, right? Doing this is going to alleviate a lot of that pain that you're experiencing. And if you're just getting started, this might not be something that you want to invest in immediately, but it's definitely something that you're going to want to remember for later, because you're going to want to invest primarily in delivering a great service and value for customers first. Okay, so with that out of the way, There are a couple kind of like universal funnels that exist that you can basically install into any business that are going to, again, amplify the amount of business that you're doing and the amount of business that you're able to work with. And I'm just going to list them off. So step one is obviously you got to get yourself a CRM. Groundhog exists. It's free in the repository, and we offer paid versions as well. Groundhog with 2gs.io. Step two is identifying which of these funnels are going to make the largest impact in your business. And I'm going to list those off. Step three, once you have them running, just it's as easy as just checking in on them in once in a while. Step four, after you have them running for like a couple weeks, maybe a month, you're going to be able, we have this very thorough reporting dashboard where you're going to be able to go in and you're going to see, we actually tell you, for example, where people drop off in the funnel. So if you have an onboarding sequence that takes like a week and sends 7 emails, if you can see that after the third email, your open rate goes way down, well, that might be indicative of your subject line not being engaging enough, or there's no clear call to action, or people just become uninvested in the content after that amount of time, in which case maybe a change to the content overall is required. We are going to tell you which emails specifically are not performing well. So anything that's below 20% open and 10% click-through rate, we're going to highlight to you and say, hey, listen, you might want to check on these because they're not providing an engaging experience to your subscribers. And going through these reports are going to allow you to optimize, to make changes, and split test, and allow you to create more engaging automations and emails. And then step 5 is continue. And this is basically just a never-ending process. Marketing automation is not stale. The market changes, customer interest changes, your brand changes, everything changes over time, your content changes. And as things change, marketing automation is not always just set it and forget it as much as we'd love it to be. You got to go in, you got to make changes, you got to update the content to reflect your most recent recent changes. And yeah, so step 1, pick a software. There's Groundhog, there's ActiveCampaign, there's Keep, there's Infusionsoft, there's all of those. You got to install some of these funnels I'm about to mention. Step 3, you got to be patient. Installing these funnels overnight is not going to create overnight results. It's going to take a minute, right? Step 4, optimize. Step 5, repeat. And that's 5 steps. So step 2, you got to install some stuff. You got to pick some funnels. So here are some funnels that I implement, and all of these are ones that I actually use in Groundhog, which do really, really, really well. So step 1, you got to have some sort of lead nurture, lead onboarding funnel. Every business can have one. Every business should have some sort of content strategy, either a blog or a YouTube channel or whatever. Basically, pick the 5 best articles or YouTube videos or whatever that you've written, 5 best ones, and you write 5 emails surrounding whatever the topic of those content pieces are, and you send them out once every 5 days, right? And any new subscriber basically gets added to this, and that educates them, that indoctrinates, and that brings them from like a top of funnel lead to like a bottom of funnel lead where someone's actually going to give you money, right? So that's what that does. You got to have customer onboarding. So that's funnel number 1. Funnel number 2 is a new customer onboarding funnel, where these are people who are like bottom of funnel. They've already purchased, they've given you money. But they also, like, once they've given you money, that's not the end of the conversation. You need to keep them around. They need to keep paying and subscribing. And you want to get them past your refund guarantee, right? You don't want them to request a refund in like your 30-day, 14-day, 60-day, whatever it is. And we do that through customer education and onboarding. So where we had lead education, indoctrination, onboarding, which might be like more fluff stuff, top of funnel, solution or problem awareness, education, solution awareness. Now that they're a customer, we get a little bit more granular and we dive deeper into subjects that specifically concern them. So I'd highly recommend having, some form of like, who are you question in your forms. Like, are you an agency? Like, we have this. Are you an agency? Are you a nonprofit? Like, who are you? And what we're going to do is we're going to send you education or content specifically related to the problems that you're facing so we can provide you the appropriate solutions. And then show them how to implement those solutions. So like if you are, again, if you're an agency working with LMS, this is definitely something you want to implement for your learning management people. Like, how do you use the course platform? Like, how do you log into courses, and how do you take courses, and how do you take quizzes? Like, these are things that people might have a difficult time, especially depending on like the age demographic. Or location demographic. Like these are things that people may not be used to or familiar with, and just having a video to show them how to like take the course is going to make a massive impact. You'd be surprised. Like I work a lot with Chris Badgett, who's the CEO of Electromelis. You'd be surprised about how often people cancel just because I don't know how to use it. Right? Like they get frustrated trying to take the course. And then that frustration, like no matter how good the content is, that frustration is going to amount to a refund. So just some education about here's how you operate this platform could make a massive difference. So content of that nature during that customer onboarding is going to make a massive difference. Funnel number 3, every business has a contact us page, and all of them have a contact us form. And it's basically like a free lead. Like the only thing that you're giving in exchange for that person's email address is an answer to their question, which doesn't cost a whole lot. And no one has like any sort of like follow-up to that. So they ask a question and you give them an answer, then what? Right? That's the question. It's like, now it's up to them to go find your website again and to navigate to some kind of landing page and re-give you their email address, which you already have, right? So instead of that, how about we just send them a follow-up email like 3 days later, be like, did you need help with anything else? Here are 3 things that you can do in order that related to their question or whatever that you can then go do in order to get more help or find a solution to a specific problem. And you can ask in the context form, what kind of problem are you having? Are you having a support problem? Are you having a billing problem? Are, just a general question, a question about working with you? Like, what kind of question do you have? And then you can send them an email based on that answer. Say, and here are some next steps that you can take. Like, don't leave it up to them. They're not going to do it, right? It's up to you. And we then can put them into the customer journey rather than letting them sort of make that decision. So that's the third one, the contact us follow-up. Number 4 is, and this works especially well for e-commerce companies, for education companies, basically anybody that has a checkout page on their website, this works incredibly well for. Software companies. Put a form in the website footer on every single page. It collects a name and an email address, and in exchange for that name and an email address, you're going to give that person 10, 15, 20% off the first order, first year, whatever. Just give them a coupon on every single page. We have that on our website. It converts, depending on the month, in between 1% and 2% of all traffic into a lead. All traffic. 1% to 2%. If you're getting 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 unique page visits every month, that's pretty, for not a whole lot in exchange. And the resistance that I get when I tell people to do this, because it works epically. Because there is a demographic of people that will not buy unless they get a discount. Like those people are out there and they want to use your product. So what's more important, the sale or the fact that you don't want to give them a discount? Like what's more important? The sale, right? I think the sale would probably be more important. And the resistance I get is, well, I don't want every single order to come through to like be a discount. And it's like, okay, it won't. probably only 30% of new orders for like our software come through with a discount. That means 70% still come through full price, even though on every single page, on the checkout page, that form is there offering them a discount on the checkout page, and they still don't use it. I don't know why, but they don't. And so it's just an incredibly effective way to get a free lead, because if they don't buy on that time, guess what? Now you have their email address. Now you can follow up with them. Like, hey, listen, you requested this 15% discount code. Click here to go use it right now. Exactly. And it's like form, email, link to checkout, and like that's it. And that's just something that you can install. And then you know, I say that there's like no set it and forget it. That one set it and forget it. Like you literally just like put it in the website footer, and then that's it. You don't ever have to worry about it again. And you can just watch as just leads trickle in, because you know, people are becoming like educated to look now, because lots of companies do this. Like you can go down to the website footer, and maybe there's like a small link that like says discount. I know that, you know, for any agencies that use a lot of like awesome motives products, like cited up to like Monster Insights or Opt-in Monster, or WP Beginner, maybe. Like if you go down to the website footer, there's literally always, every single one of them has a little discount link, and if you click on it, they'll just send you a discount for doing absolutely nothing. And consumers are getting smart, and well, they are smart. They're very smart. And honestly, just give them the discount. Don't make it hard. You'll be surprised, honestly, about how many people like still don't use it. So that's number 4.
So yeah, you have given a lot of advice. Any last piece of advice that you would love to give to the website owners on how they can improve their website conversion rate?
There's a lot of things that you can do to improve a conversion rate, like honing in on your target audience and value proposition. And I mean, as far as like software is concerned, and marketing automation is concerned, if we, you know, the best thing that you can do is to collect an email address, because then you have the opportunity to follow up and indoctrinate and educate using all the strategies that I just mentioned. And having places where people can do that on your website and making it easy to find is going to greatly increase your chances of creating a lead. I see a lot of businesses, they want to collect a lot of information up front. They want to collect like date of birth and all that stuff. And name an email address. That's really all you need. Like you don't need more than that. And then you can collect more information on the back end. But if you try to collect too much information before you've given anything of value, that is going to impede your conversion rate. Like it's always about giving value first, and then in exchange for that, you typically get either data or revenue as the reciprocation of that event. There's lots of ways that you can give value. So if you're collecting an email address, send them some sort of lead magnet or blog article or video or, you know, webinar or whatever, right? But the conversation always has to start with you giving value. And once you do that, then you can ask for more data, for more information, for money, right? It always starts with you giving value. And that's probably my number one piece of advice for increasing a conversion rate. There's a ton of factors that lead into the conversion rate of a website. Is it like a specific page? Is it like all leads? Is it all traffic? With that website footer discount thing, right? If your value proposition is right, that's going to convert 1% to 2% of all of your website traffic into a lead for doing nothing, right? And so that's part of it as well. But again, it all starts with providing value.
Okay. So with this, we have come to the end of today's episode. It was great learning, an amazing tips from you on how businesses can automate and what are the important things that they can make into their control with the automation tools that are provided by, many, even which include Grandfa and many others. So thank you so much, Adrian, for your time, and we had an amazing discussion, and I look forward to host you again.
Thank you. I hope your audience finds this educational and helpful. If anyone's interested, or anyone wants to learn a little bit more about marketing automation and how we might be able to help your agency, you can head over to groundhog with 2gs.io. We also have a free plugin on the WordPress repository. You can check that out first. Like I mentioned, it's always about providing value first and then collecting on the back end. There's lots of ways that we provide value without you having to pay anything. So I invite you to come learn with us and come check it out.
Great, great. So definitely, Evan, I will be putting the link into the description box also so that the audience can check it out, try it for free, and if they find it valuable, they can go for the paid version.